Okay. Welcome back to Fields of Fire. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Soon I'm going to be running around in camo pants and shouting about tangos and whiskey foxtrots and all that sort of stuff. So I got the military bug. I get the World War II bug. Yeah, it's pretty good. And I'm progressing through the basic training. God, it's the most insane basic tutorial for any board game or any game ever I've ever experienced, but that's why it's good. So we're now on the assault company assault course, which expands the map a bit. It adds an extra column. And now instead of handling one platoon, you're handling two platoons with the CO HQ on the field. So the complexity rises. There's a lot more going to be happening simultaneously. And so I did run one first. I did it on my own. This is where it just introduces the idea of handling two platoons simultaneously. It doesn't really add much else, though, that's like, whoa, this is weird. I don't know how to handle this sort of thing. This is out of left field. At this point, you have all the basics down, I would say. So we're going to be doing run 2, which is the same exact mission, basically, same exact setup as run 1. It's just now, instead of having the enemies predetermined and pre-placed, we have the potential contact system. So this is more like practically a normal mission almost at this point. There's one more run after this in which it adds communication, and you have to deal with the radios and doing all that sort of stuff. And I probably could have done that, but because that's kind of the last thing. It's honestly just like one page of just like, hey, use communication. Which probably isn't that complicated. It's probably not that complicated. But anyway, we're just going to go with this because it's fine. And this video will be long enough, I'm sure. So, yeah, our objective then on this one is to eliminate all potential contacts, remove all potential contacts from the map. Clear all the PC markers. That's the objective. And so this is the setup then of the packages, like all the potential tokens, enemy, whatever, that the counters for enemy placements in this course. So if the potential contact system calls for placement of enemy counters which are already in use, ignore the draw, select from packages that you are able to place. If nothing is available, there is no contact. So it's quite important then that we respect the counter mix. So if there are 3 LMGs on the field or whatever, or that have been in play one way or another, that have been pulled from, we can't get any more LMG. They can't get any more LMGs. So same thing with the artillery. There's one incoming artillery counter. There isn't going to be any more. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, there's more potential contacts than there were before. There's 3 LMGs. There's 2 German FJ squads. I don't know what FJ stands for. Don't ask me. I mean, I could Google it if I just search World War II FJ squad. The Fallschirmjäger. Fallschirmjäger squad typically consists of 10 men organized around heavy firepower. And they do have higher firepower than us. This one is basically just a better LMG team. It's an automatic at long range with 3 steps instead of 1, so it's harder to kill, or harder to break apart. And then they have these 2 FJ teams that have 3 steps. I'm sorry, those were already damaged. 3 steps each as well. They're also long range, but they're AS, which means that they do small arms fire at close to long range, but if you're on the same card as them, they switch to automatic fire. So they sort of combine a fire team and an assault team into one thing out to long range, potentially, which is pretty good. We have the incoming mortar fire of -4, which sucks. There's 2 foxhole things that could be, there could be some units in foxholes, and there can be some units in trenches, which is better. They're just better. And then the bunker. Now, the bunker's kind of fun. It's a +3 for their NCM, so it's pretty hard to dig them out of there without, artillery or mortar fire. The 4 means that they can only put 4 steps under there, so they can't have like 2 of these guys under the same bunker. I don't think that's going to be really relevant too much for this scenario. But most importantly, the bunker can only be pointed in a single direction. So if it's pointed in here in this direction, it's firing and looking this way. So if you're here, the bunker's useless. It cannot fire upon you. Nothing that's inside of it will fire upon you. So the bunker is something that we kind of have to maneuver around and watch out for, because it is pretty nasty. We don't really want to get caught just with it firing upon us, because it's going to be hard to counter fire on that. Right. And other than that, it's basically the same fields of fire you know and love. So we have 2 platoons, each consisting of 3 units ready to go. They also each get an LMG unit and an anti-tank grenade launcher unit. Platoon 1 has the artillery forward observer, so they can call in an artillery, which on this one, it's the same rules as the first run. So we have unlimited artillery call-ins and mortar call-ins, which is awesome. And the artillery is, I think, 105 millimeter. 105 millimeter artillery. It's a -5 volume of fire. It's devastating, especially in like the woods or the orchards. A -6 is pretty rough. Whatever you're trying to hit is almost certainly going to get hit. The mortar fire is a comparatively lesser 81 millimeter -3 volume of fire, but still, the fact that we have unlimited of them means that yes, I mean we're going to be using them liberally. It's not a good day to be a Nazi. So we have 2 separate platoons and thus 2 separate platoon HQs, and I'll explain that in a minute. We also have our CO on the field. He's not off field, so he can be activated, he can be moved, he can give orders like other HQs. It's just that he can give orders to the other platoon HQs, and he can also give orders to the platoon units. But I do not believe that like the first platoon HQ can give orders to the second platoon units. Don't quote me on that, though. Maybe you can. There is like the chain of command, but I don't remember what it is. It didn't come up when I ran through this scenario on my own, but I don't really remember the chain of command or how that was. I know there's something of just like you can't command upwards and things like that. I don't remember. Military units have rigid structures so they can function in the chaos combat. Units can only receive orders to perform actions from their headquarters or an HQ higher in the chain. Likewise, each HQ can only issue orders to itself, to its subordinate units, or to subordinate HQs lower in the chain. Right, so that's what I'm thinking what I said was correct. Yes, any unit attached to their own platoons and any LAT. Right, so I think this like the artillery, this is part of this platoon? Is that what I'm getting about this then? Uh, hmm. Yeah. So that's I mean, obviously, like the intent is that second platoon HQ can give orders to the LMG there. That is the purpose. I just don't know how you're meant to sort of keep track of that, you know? That's yeah. Hmm. I guess you're just supposed to remember. Um yeah, I mean, this is a digital version, so I feel like we probably could come up with a better solution. There is an option to highlight your platoon, but that just highlights this stuff, and I don't know how you're meant to. Like, I don't think you can do this, and then yeah, that doesn't highlight them. I can give it a color tint, but that doesn't really. I mean, that sort of works, I guess. If that's the intent, I don't know if I feel like that's the intent. As far as like this platoon HQ gives orders to these things. I mean, it's all very simple and obvious at the start, but later on things get kind of jumbled. You know, these LMGs might move around and shift around, HQs might shift around. Um it's not quite as obvious. And there doesn't seem to be any guidance or any recommendations for keeping track. It says if playing digital or module adaptations like Vassal or Tabletop Simulator, users often utilize distinct color highlights on counters to easily keep track of which attachment belongs to which platoon. So yes, you are meant to just keep track. So I guess we will do that. There you go. Those are all red, and these are going to be all blue. May as well just color all of them then. There you go. They're all blue. Okay. Yes. So as I mentioned, then the second PLT HQ, second platoon HQ, cannot give orders to these units, even if they're on the same tile or anything. They just don't respect them. They just don't like them. I don't know. They just refuse. That's not how the chain of command works. Don't break the chain of command, dude. You got your own units. Don't fuck with his. But the CO can give orders to everybody because you know he's the higher up. You got to listen to what he says. So he's valuable, and he also obviously activates these other two. And in the future, we'll have to worry about him being in radio contact with them to actually activate them and give orders and blah blah blah. But for now, everything is always assumed to be in contact, so we don't worry about that yet. He also has, as part of with him, a mortar sector, which is a pretty nice unit. It does heavy weapon VOF, which is -3, which is pretty powerful. You know, you don't have to call it in, you don't have to card draw to try to activate or anything like that. It's just a heavy weapon -3 VOF. However, it's got some limitations. It does not fire while it's exposed, so it will not fire while moving. or right after moving. It has to set up for a turn. Also, it has a close to long range firing range, so it cannot fire on its own card. But yeah, it's still pretty powerful. Aside from that, the map is, there's a lot of familiar sights here. We have the marsh as a new thing. It's similar to the woods. Its line of sight is pretty cut off, but it's only a +1. And there's not much cover in the marsh. There's the gully / draw. So if you're in the gully part of it, basically, so if you're on this card and an enemy or an opposing force is drawing fire on you and their line of sight is being across the darker sides or the corners, then you're considered to be in the gully and you get the +2. But if they're coming at you dead on like this through the open line of sight, then you're in the draw and they're just shooting at you and you only get a +1. So depending on where the fire is coming from, it's slightly better. So open fields here, but it's up on a hill, which is going to block line of sight. Because normally, like, this orchard would have line of sight on this field, I believe. But the hill is cutting things off. This also means that the hill here, being on these fields, basically gives you line of sight to everything. In a straight line. So you still don't have line of sight on these hills. But yeah, you basically have line of sight on everything, including this draw. Then in the back, we've got multiple woods, a lot of woods, including 2 of them on hills, which means that I believe this hill, this card, can actually look all the way over onto this card, which is something. So, yeah, that's basically it. So let us commence turn 1. And we start, the battalion HQ is still off map, and all he does is just activates the CO each turn. So we activate the CO, and just like all the other activations, we draw a card, and the CO gets 5 commands this turn during his impulse. He's going to spend, of course, 2 of those commands to activate the 1st platoon and 2nd platoon HQs. So they are going to get their cards during their impulses. But he still has 3 things ready to go. Now, the problem is he doesn't really want to do much. So I'm probably just going to have him sit for now on those 3. He's obviously not going to go out on his own into potential contact. He could go and join one of the other 2 staging areas to maybe help them send some troops out. Especially because, there's 2 separate impulses here. So, like, if we moved one of these units here with the CO, and then during the 2nd platoon HQ impulse, he went there, he could then tell that unit to move again. Except there would be limitations because you're exposed. Yeah, like you can't actually move to an adjacent card if you're marked as exposed, or move the platoon, or attempt to infiltrate. So you couldn't actually move more than once, unless you had already infiltrated, I suppose. In which case you're not marked as exposed, but you can't infiltrate unless there's a VOF in place or on your card, or blah, 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 blah. We're not getting to that yet. Don't worry about it. So really, there's not that much things I could do. I could separate. I could peel off from the mortar sector 1 step and turn it into a fire team. So I could just pull an LAT team, and there it is, and there's our separate mortar fire team. So the mortar sector is still perfectly capable. It's still heavy weapons, still close to long range. It's same capabilities. It just has 2 steps. Part of it, 2 health quotation mark instead of 3. But we would have a separate fire team that I could then send in as kind of an expendable thing. It has just short arm fire at close range, and it's 1 health, 1 step. But it's something the CO could do if I wanted to, just to send him in there as like a scout to just like potentially die or check things out. It's not the most brilliant thing that I've ever done or anything, but it's a possibility, and I like it as a possibility. So I'm going to do 1 to peel off the fire team, and then I'll do 1 to send him in and mark him as very exposed. Probably going to die. Okay, then that's it. So then we go to the first platoon. We can pick either one. We don't have to go to the first one always. We can pick either one, but we'll do the first platoon. He's going to draw a card. He gets 3, so he's going to 3. And now it's obviously a lot more important to actually use this tracker and keep track of everything. So he's got 3 commands to dish out however he wants to on his thing. I mean, we could just do a full platoon move and just, oh, there you go. And it's like, oh, you just move in. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure there's no Germans around or anything. But no, it's sort of the same thing of just like we could just peel off a fire team from one of these guys and just send them in as a scout just to see where the enemies are, and just kind of get cut to ribbons. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's like the safest play. So yeah, we're gonna do that for one of them. I'm gonna pull off a fire team. I think, can it be an assault team as well? I don't think we really want an assault team. I'll be honest, I don't think we want an assault team. But oh no, it does have to be an assault team. Oh, that's right. I couldn't do that with that fire team. Right. Fire teams, based on this limitations, fire teams cannot move unless it's to a staging area or to a friendly occupied card that has no VOF on it. Assault teams, however, can move into unexplored territory. So this one actually could not have done it. And this is the thing that it automatically gave me. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to peel off an assault team off a mortar sector. I thought so. I didn't notice any specific limitations. It said, hey, don't do that. It says any good order 3 to 4 step squad or 2-step weapons team. But well, now I'm not so sure. Yeah, that one I'm not so sure. And that it's a mortar sector, so it's a little questionable. So I'm not going to futz about with that. So I'm gonna save 2 commands from doing that, so 3 total, and I just won't futz with that. But anyways, yes, so we have to convert this to an assault team. So we spent 1 to convert it to an assault team, and we're gonna spend 1 in order to move it in right away. Assault teams are in some ways better than the fire team. They have automatic weapons instead of small arms fire, but they can only shoot at enemies that are on the same card as them. That's what the P is, point blank. So it's kind of bad because the potential contact is almost certainly going to be on one of these cards, not on this card, but you never know. So that's that. And then for the third and final action, I think we're going to send Platoon 1-1 onto this card. And we bear the risk, of course, of drawing a lot of contacts this turn that could be really bad, but you know, we want to flush them all out. And we kind of have 2 separate platoons working in tandem. So platoon 2 got 4 commands. I think we're going to do something kind of similar. I'm going to send 1-2 straight in here for 1. I'm going to peel off an assault team from this one for 1. I'm going to move it in here for 2. And we have 1 left, and I think I'll just save that for now. So now we're really going to see what's what. There's a lot of potential contacts to resolve. But first, we have, of course, the general initiative still. And now, since we have more than one platoon, we actually get the full value here, not halved. So I have 3 general initiative orders, and I don't think you can save them. No, you cannot save general initiative, which is part of the problem, really. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can reinforce certain areas, I can move out more platoon units and things like that, but it's really kind of inviting chaos. I don't benefit much from just throwing more units into the thresher of enemy fire, you know? Because for this turn, it's likely just going to mean that we get shot at more. And I'm not going to risk like my anti-tank or my LMG on an entirely unknown. So, yeah, in this rare case, there isn't much I can do. Um, at least as far as I understand it. Oh, no, we can have guys seek cover. You're right. And these are all exposed. So let me do this. All right, we're going to have yeah, we're going to have these 2 on the far end seek cover. So they can only get 1 shot at this. So for the far left, to draw 2 cards, we're looking for the cover word. Nope. For the far right, open fields, 1, 2. Nope. And then we'll try the Marsh, the assault team there. 2 cards, looking for cover. No cover whatsoever. Okay, well, they all tried. It is what it is. Okay. Next would be enemy activity, but there are no enemies, so nothing. No captures, no retreats, no AT combat. Oh, sorry, I skipped over the... No, I didn't. I didn't skip over anything. Right, so mutual combat phase. So we're going to do the potential contact evaluation. And again, we have to do this in a random order because it can affect, obviously, the engagement level, the activity level. So we have 4 options, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to be the first one, the far left open field. And we are going to draw. No, this one is auto. This is we're at no contact, so it's automatically a success. And we have this package selection. So there's 6 options. 4. A 4 here means package 2, LMG in foxholes. They are unspotted. This is a classic. We've encountered them many times. It's going to be a random card on row 2. And that means that it can only be one of these 2, though. It has to be able to have line of sight and start firing on them. So one of these 2 options, and it's going to be 1. So in the gully there. Great. Just where I want them. And it's going to be an LMG team in the foxholes, unspotted. And they, of course, immediately draw or start firing at me, which means that I get a nice, comfy automatic weapon VOF. That is going to hurt. This is going to hurt a lot. Okay. But that puts us at contact. Next, we need to resolve one of the next 3, and it's going to be a 1, so the Marsh. And now we're going to draw 7 cards, searching for the contact word. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, the last one, contact. All right, so we have contact here. Again, where it's 6 options because it's an A, and that is going to be a 5. 3, LMG with no cover. It is spotted, and it's on the triggering card. Well, that's interesting, I would say. That actually kind of works for us in a horrific, morbid way. So there's no PDF. These are not firing off the card. I really have very little experience with engagements on the same card. I assume it works basically the same way, you know. they open fire on one another, but I don't know how you really signify such things. I mean, we know how it works. Here, this is how it is. Okay, so you basically just want to like divvy up the card and organize the card. Yeah, you're just organizing the card. Okay, so we're gonna organize the card here. The assault team is exposed. They're both gonna be under automatic weapon fire, so that's fun. And there you go. The problem is I'm exposed, and he's not. He's in a slightly more entrenched position, whereas I'm just walking through the marsh. So, best case scenario is we cut each other down. But that might not necessarily happen. However, this one could fire on here, but it will not automatically open fire onto a card that has friendlies on it. Same thing with here. So, since we have the assault team here, which obviously we had to have the assault team there in order to make the contact, they're not going to open fire on it. So, it's up to the assault team to sort of sort this out on their own. Um Okay, that's that. Now, of course, we're up to engaged because there's 2 or more cards, occupied cards under VOF markers. So then we have 2 more potentially to resolve, and that's going to be the second one. So the open field's over here. And now, since we're engaged, we're only drawing 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No contact. All right, and the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No contact. That's pretty lucky. Damn lucky, son. Okay, then we can just deal with this nonsense before moving on to reveal any worse stuff. Alrighty then. So that was all the potential contacts. Blah, blah, blah. So now we do the combat effects segments. Runs right into it. So we'll start with this one. This one's going to be pretty bad. This is just a -3 modifier overall. So, yeah, -3. Oof, wow. Very lucky on that. Pinned. That's good. We can't ask for much better than that. All right, next, let's do this guy. So he's got +1 from the marsh, but -1 from the automatic weapons. So he's just drawing straight zeros. Hit! Oh, good thing I picked him first. Hot damn. Okay, so let's resolve the hit. He's a line unit. Casualty. Instantly killed. Our assault team just sprayed and prayed. Killed every last one of them. Or not killed. I know. Not technically killed. But as far as the game is concerned, they're pretty much killed. They can't do jack shit. They can't move. They can't do anything. Good. But nonetheless, we still have to resolve this. Sad to say. We might have given our lives in the process because we have a -2 overall. Yep, that's a hit. We are paralyzed. This is assault teams count as line. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's still paralyzed, but yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so we're a paralyzed team now, and we are pinned. Yeah. Okay, and now that's everything. So VOFs get updated, which means that this is gone because he's dead. Mine is also gone because there's nothing to shoot at. This all stays. Then during the cleanup phase, which is what would be next, we remove the exposed, 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 exposed. We got absurdly lucky this turn. Yeah, very, very lucky. And we could capture their casualties, I think. Or no, that's only litter or paralyzed. I don't know. I don't know what you do with enemy casualties. I don't know what you do with enemy. I know you can capture enemy litter and paralyzed. Enemy casualty steps left on unoccupied or friendly occupied cards can be captured or cleared, scoring 1 victory point per step in specific missions. Okay. Then we really just don't care, but I'll leave it there as a badge of honor. All right. Then we move on to turn 2. So, the state of play at this point, these guys are pinned, but they won't be pinned during the next combat event. But yeah, I mean, otherwise they're just kind of sitting there. These guys are still under fire. They are pinned now, which is kind of good in that it gives them a +1. And they can still do certain things like seek cover and stuff. And we mostly want to just have them there, drawing the fire as a distraction, because now we're definitely going to be moving up the LMG and stuff, and opening fire here, or trying to spot them and then open fire. So that's going to be a pretty major concern. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think we probably should now move up. We're actually back down we're back down to contact because there's only one card. Once we spot this, though, we can move up to engage. So that's what I'm kind of hoping the first platoon handles. I don't really want to risk the CO too much. It's kind of important. But regardless, he activates. We draw a card. He gets 4 more, so he's at 7. He can do a lot of things. Yeah, so we're gonna have him send the mortar sector up. I'm then gonna move over here. Technically, he does get exposed. It doesn't really matter, but it just means that he can't move anymore, during this whole thing. But he's now going to send up the LMG for sure. This is just in case first platoon draws a shitty card and I don't get many actions. At least I can, throw some stuff up there. So we're going to throw the first LMG up there. They're going to be exposed, of course. I'll throw the... Yeah, I'll throw the artillery forward observer up there. So that was 2 more. That's 7. I've spent 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll throw the anti-tank over to this card. Also exposed. Down to 2, and then I'll hold. Okay. Oh no, I didn't even activate. Oh shit. Let's see. 1 for the mortar sector. 2 for the move. Then I sent 3, 4, and then the anti-tank. I can only spend 6, so no. We will hold back the anti-tank. No, I'm going to do the anti-tank. I'm going to hold back the artillery observer. Have the first platoon do that if he wants. So that puts me at here, and then I'm going to activate... I don't know why I did that way. I'm going to activate the first platoon and second platoon HQ, and then I will save this. Okay, then first platoon is going to go. He gets 3. And that's kind of what I was thinking might happen. For now, he's just going to move himself rather than do a platoon move. Because I really want to spot these guys. It's quite essential that I spot this LMG team. So he's just going to move for 1. We're gonna attempt to spot, and it's not gonna be especially easy. So we have to order a unit to try to spot, which can just be like, I think myself for the LMG team. Any good order unit with line of sight to an unspotted unit. Also available to pin units and some LATs with restrictions. So I mean, yeah, either one of these are good order units, and we might use both of them in case we fail. So we're gonna spend one command to have the LMG try to spot here, and there's some modifiers for that. Don't forget. The recipient is not on a higher elevation or anything like that. The target is undercover, so that's -1. But they also have a VOF rating of automatic of A, so that's +1 because they're making a lot of noise and firing off a lot of bullets. Thankfully, though, they do not have +3 or more cover and concealment value. Or no, maybe they do. Ooh, I think they do. That's right, because they're in the foxholes plus the +2. That's a total of +3 cover and concealment. That's not good. Then that would be one card. Yeah. Well, yeah. I think. Well, it must be, right? Yeah, it must be. The number in the upper left is the cover and concealment value, but I assume that also includes cover. Let me just try to find where we talk about spotting. 8.5. Doesn't really say. It just says 3 or more cover and concealment value. That doesn't really tell me. No, we literally just look at the number. There are only just a handful of cards that actually have a +3 cover and concealment value. We do not include cover in that because cover already gives a -1. Okay, so then they're undercover for -1, but they have an automatic weapon for +1, meaning that we draw a total of 2 cards. And we're looking for the crosshair icon. 1, 2, we got it. So we spot them. They remove this, which means immediately this squad starts firing, which would put an all-pinned VOF on here. But thankfully... Oh no, why have you done this? I didn't mean to do that. Really, you cannot delete this object. Fine. Thankfully, this squad is also firing with the LMG. So they're under automatic fire. The mortar sector will not be firing until we remove the exposed token at the end of this turn, and then this will upgrade to potentially heavy weapon fire for -3, which is awesome. Good. That was a big goal. Okay. So then the first platoon has one action left. We can do a couple things here. We could try to well, we could try to remove the pinned thing here. We could try to seek cover. We could try to concentrate fire. I don't think that I can call in indirect fire with the... maybe I can. There's no stipulation that it has to be... It doesn't have... Like, it can be exposed. Yeah. Indirect lay. Yes, the PLT HQ, the mortar section is attached to, but that's not this one. He's specifically not attached to this. That is attached to the CO. So no, he cannot have this thing order it to be indirect fire. Damn it! Why won't you just listen to me? All right, then I suppose, I mean, right now we're not under fire, but this could change fire, potentially, which would leave us kind of screwed. Seeking cover would be not the worst idea, especially because concentrate fire is probably not going to solve the problem for us. So no, we're going to just seek cover, and I don't know if I can have the first platoon HQ do that himself. Is he a unit? I would imagine. Yeah, I would imagine. Okay, so the first platoon HQ is going to try to seek cover for himself. So for the marsh, we draw 2 cards, and we're looking for the word cover. And he did not get it. So he's done. Then we're going to activate the second PLT HQ. We got 5, plus the one I have is 6. Excellent. He can do quite a lot, and we are going to do quite a lot. We are going to platoon move all of us up here. Is that risky? Maybe. We are all of us exposed. And that costs 2. I'm then going to order the assault team to move up. Also exposed now. Also, we're now on engaged again, because there are at least 2 cards with VOFs on them. So that was 1. There isn't much else he can do at this stage. I can't have anyone else move. They're all exposed. So, yeah, that's kind of it. The only other thing I could maybe do is seek cover. So I'll have the platoon HQ himself try to seek cover on this card. And there it is, cover. Cover. So he's exposed, but he's at least under cover. I think he can order everyone to platoon move. No, you can't platoon move within a card. All right, then I only really care about him, and he's going to hold on to 2 commands. All right, then we move on to general initiative. One general initiative. Well, also, I forgot we needed crossfire here. Yeah, I wondered why this card wasn't locked. Yeah, there's crossfire here. We could have the assault team seek cover. It's got a decent chance of finding it. We could have the first platoon HQ here attempt to find cover again. I could attempt to concentrate fire. Can I have the mortar sector call in through general initiative, or does it have to be... I don't think it really can. They cannot fire at all if marked with an exposed marker. Yeah, so I don't think that's an option. It would either be trying to find cover with him or concentrating fire here. And I'm just going to go ahead and try to concentrate fire here with our LMG onto the other LMG. So we're going to draw 2 cards, and we're hoping for the crosshair. And there it is. So we're going to concentrate fire, which for some reason is not in that quick menu, but there it is. So it's an extra -1 on him. All right, excellent. Wish we could do a bit more, but there you have it. So next would be enemy activity check, which is just the one. So this guy checking his activity. He is not pinned down. We are using, I think, deliberate tactics. I don't think that changed for run 2. No, so it didn't change. I think it's deliberate tactics. Deliberate defense tactics, yes. So he is... He's under fire from a different direction to its own PDF. Deliberate tactics, 4 options. And we get number 3. So he's going to shift PDF to direction of incoming fire. This is what we did not want to happen. There's a 50% chance to happen. So now he is firing on all the units on this card, which is pretty bad. For multiple reasons, mostly because of our first PLT HQ that is sitting there exposed to enemy fire. We didn't really want that, and I don't know why I moved him here exactly. Well, no, I know why I did. I wanted to spot him, and I did. I got up in the marsh, and I looked around, and I spotted him. Great. Okay. That's that. That's the enemy activity check. So now we do the potential contact, which is going to be right here. We're at engaged, and this is a B marker. So he draws 3 cards looking for the word contact, and he did not find any, so that's all clear. Great. The least of my concerns, I suppose. Pin recovery. So this is no longer pinned because they're not under fire. This guy now is still pinned. And he's not loving the extra attention. So all right, we're resolving then 2 cards. Starting with this one. He's got +2 and +1 for a total of +3, and then -1, -1, -1. So he has a total of +0. Here's his result. Pinned. Damn close, though, to a hit. So now he's pinned under cover, which means he might fall back if we can't seal the deal next time. But, well, he might fall back before we can seal the deal. Unfortunately for here, we have to resolve all 3 of these, or all 4 of these, and it's going to be not pretty. The +1 cancels out the VOF, the automatic weapons, but each one of us are rolling with -2, which is quite bad. Starting with the LMG, -2 is a pin. That is really the best we can hope for each of these units. All right, the first platoon HQ, -2 is a pin. Ooh, okay, I'll take it. It does affect his number of activations, I believe. And then the mortar sector, pin. That's really not good, though. We really need to clear this shit. Then the paralyzed unit, he's actually at -1 instead of -2 because he was already pinned. And of course, he gets hit. And he is going to get casualty because he's a green unit. Well, it doesn't matter. He's a casualty. So, yep. Cannot be rallied or anything like that. Can't be pinned. He's just a casualty sitting there. If this were a campaign, we'd probably want to get him back onto the staging area to the casualty collection point that we would set up in order to get something out of it. But otherwise, yeah, not pretty. All right. Not great. Oh, this, however, now that he's pinned, this becomes all pinned. Whereas this gets downgraded to small arms because if it were just this card, it would be all pinned. But we have this guy firing as well. So the highest is the one applied, which is this small arms. I believe fire is still concentrated, but maybe it's not once you're pinned. Okay, let me just look at the book real quick for when that drops off. Removed if LOS is subsequently lost, if the unit shifts or ceases fire, if the target moves away, or if the unit otherwise loses its VOF. No. So because the LMG didn't lose his VOF. It just got a hell of a lot worse, but he's still concentrating fire on this spot. Okay, that's it. And then we clean up, so we remove all the exposed. All right, and that's it. So now we're on turn 3. CO gets activated. I think we needed to reshuffle. He gets 3 commands. 2 of those are going to be spent on activating the first and second PLT. Yeah, I'll go ahead and send the artillery forward observer up there. Done. Thank you. All right, first PLT. Now he's got a pretty big penalty here, and I wish I had saved some commands because that would have helped. He is pinned, so that's -1. He is not undercover. That would have helped. And he has a... Oh, no, that's all pinned. So that's good. If we had not pinned the other guy, he would be at -3 total. So really, he's just at -1 off of whatever we draw. Okay, he's got 2. 2 things. We really would like to unpin the mortar sector at this point, so that this could upgrade to a +3. Or to a -3. That would save our day a little bit. I'd also probably afterwards, assuming that's successful, would be to move the platoon HQ to like this card. So, in order for that to rally, we do have a VOF here, so it's not automatic, and it's any unit under a pin marker. And I don't think I am restricted with a pin. I think that just affects my command draw, right? I don't think a pinned HQ is really, like, fucked in that way. He can still issue orders. It would be quite insane if he could not. There are no restrictions on command and control actions except where the action menu states a good order unit is required as a recipient, which activate does not. Yeah, I don't think there's a... Technically, there's something here about how pin units are not able to give verbal and visual communication, but we're not operating in the world of communication, really. So, for now, I'm just going to ignore that. So, sure, we're going to try to rally here. Because there's a VOF, we have to draw 2 cards and look for the word rally. And we did not get it. Now, I can either attempt that again, or I can attempt to exhort. Whenever you fail an attempt by drawing cards, you can spend another command to draw 1 more card. You can do that like once. Or I could move our HQ out of this card and keep it safe. Which is probably smarter. It's really unlikely, though, that he's going to get hit. As long as this guy's still pinned. But if he suddenly becomes not pinned, like if he rallies during the enemy activity, we're under automatic weapon fire again. But it's still pretty unlikely. I mean, you're looking at a +1. So, sure, I'm going to try to exhort. I'm going to draw 1 more card. Okay, we didn't get it, so he's done. Then the second PLT, who is sitting there undercover. Doesn't he get like a +1 for being undercover? Yeah, he does. Okay, so he gets +1 off of this. 6. Meaning we're at 8. It's a lot. He can do a fuck ton. Alright. I'm gonna send 1 here. I hate to move from this relative safety. It's a nice spot for him. But we want to kind of potentially keep pushing forward. No, I'm just going to platoon move all these guys. Nah. I'm going to hold back the mortar forward observer for now. So you're all exposed and you're exposed. So that was a platoon move. That was a normal move. So that's 3 total I spent. Down to 5. Yeah. So I have 3 left, but... yeah, there isn't much I could do. I'm sitting pretty over here, where first platoon HQ is like, oh god, we're under fire, god. I really don't want to save 5, though. That seems like an insane amount. So rather than just sitting here, I feel like I should do something. So, all right, he's going to move here. He's exposed. That's 4 spent. Dare I? I just feel like that's kind of foolish and risky to just try this as well. But I don't really benefit that much from having 2 units on the same card when I don't know the situation. Okay, I'm just going to try to seek cover here. I got 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. I got it. Okay. So basic cover here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that was 1. I can do one more action. I'm going to just move my anti-tank launcher, my grenade launcher under the cover as well. Okay, done. General initiative. Give me something good, please. 3. I like it. Okay, we're going to attempt to unpin. They're going to try to rally themselves. So this is drawing 2 cards and searching for rally. We didn't get it. Okay, then, well, try for the best, I guess. Well, no. I'm going to have the artillery forward observer try to call in an artillery strike with the second one. Yeah, so we're just drawing 2 cards and hoping for a, yeah, that, actually. Okay, excellent. So we're going to drop in this -5 pending fire mission. Godspeed, Nazi bastards. Well, that's good. We like that. Also, we place an artillery concentration marker on there in case we want to draw more artillery fire down there. They've dialed in. Then in the third general activity, I'm going to have this guy seek cover. Just 2 cards looking for the word cover. You got it. Nice. Thank you. Helps a little bit out in the field. Might save him. Might not. All right, that's it for general. Then we go to enemy activity. There's just 1 enemy. He's pinned undercover, which means we go to this classic one right here. It's 4 options. 3. He's going to attempt to rally, so he's going to draw 2 cards and looking for the word rally. He did not get it, unfortunately, so we are still all pinned. That's good for us. No captures. Not yet. Technically, no, technically not. So enemy casualties and unoccupied and friendly occupied cards are captured as per 1.15.1. You don't know about 8.15.1, bro? Are you even playing Fields of Fire? Yeah, okay. There's not even any stipulation. It's just, I mean, this is friendly occupied, so yeah, I guess I capture this. Prisoners captured. Done. This thing does not get rescued, though, until we actually get it to casualty collection. Blah, blah, blah. It's just laying in the field right now. But anyways, that's that. Okay, so now this is no longer pending. It's real, baby. It's coming in hot. I hope you're ready. Potential contact. Yes, we do have a potential contact. Very potential. Much potential. This is a B on the engaged, which means we draw 3 cards and we're looking for the word. Yep, that's the word, contact. All right, that's not good because now we're on the B column, which means there's a lot of options, including the bunkers. So we're drawing 7 different options. Oh, God, it's a 4. Nothing. No, it can't be nothing. 3 to 4. Package 5. Squad in the trench. Okay, so that's the automatic weapon squad. That's the good squad. I think. Oh no, each time a squad is drawn, pick the type randomly, of course. A rated or AS rated. Well, wait a minute, Mikey. So is it 2 options or is it 3 options? Well, maybe it'll be clarified here for placement. Doesn't really say. I mean, based on the way this is labeled, so A rated or AS rated. That sounds like it's 2 options. So I guess we're just going to go with 2 options. A rated is 1. Okay, it's the AS. So we have an AS rated Fallschirmjäger whatever team in the trenches on a random card on row 3. And in this case, right here, it could be on any one of these to fire here. So 1, 2, or 3, and it's going to be 1. So they are going to be here in the Orchard Grove, firing here with small arms fire as such. Potential contact. They are not spotted either. This is what we were worried about. Unspotted. Yep. Okay. That's not great, but that's why I went into cover, because we knew this was a possibility. Okay, that was potential contacts. Pinned recovery segment is no one. Okay. Then combat effects. Right here. Yes. Oh, technically there is no line of sight out of this card. So right now, actually, there was no VOF on this card. So actually, we would have recovered from being pinned. Mortar fire, artillery fire has saved our bacon there. A little. It's slightly less stress, perhaps. That's the way that I understand it. You really just follow it as written. Flip penny marker to their active side, and then that's followed by pin recovery. And we know for a fact that indirect fire missions block line of sight. I don't know where it says that in the rules, but I'm pretty certain that's the case. It mentions it multiple times in the training missions. Of course, there's a thread about it. This is from the original. The original rule book from the original game is apparently a hell of a lot worse, which has led to a lot more confusion. Then we're playing with the deluxe edition, which clarifies a lot more. Okay, this is probably under the line of sight section then, if anything. Or it's under the VOF? Yes? No? I mean, it's a special incoming mortar artillery, 7.16, but, you know, that doesn't tell us. So it's got to be under the line of sight section. Reciprocal. Reciprocal. Cards with smoke incoming or airstrike on them. Units from outside a card with smoke incoming or airstrike have line of sight into the card, but not through to cards beyond, while units on such cards cannot see out. Yeah. They cannot see out. This is the first time I think I've really had to, like, question this. So I just want to make sure I'm doing it right. Line of sight may be blocked as a result of smoke or incoming and airstrike markers, as a result of dirt and dust kicked up by explosions. You can trace line of sight into but not through or out of cards with such markers. This creates a rare instance where line of sight is not reciprocal. Smoke and WP smoke, white phosphorus, provide a defensive benefit to the occupants of the card except from incoming airstrike mines and grenade attacks. Right. An engaged unit will continue to fire at the same card until a smoke source, incoming, or airstrike marker appears on the firing unit's card or along the PDF. Smoke incoming airstrike markers along the PDF will block fire through the card with the marker. Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty clear. They're fucked up. They cannot do any shooting. Yeah, okay. I mean, they have no line of sight. You got to have a line of sight to shoot. So they stopped firing. So I did that all correct. They're pinned and under very heavy artillery barrage. It is what it is. Right. So that's where we're at, right? We flipped that. Oh, we did the potential contact. Yeah, that was resolved. Correct. Pin recovery. Yeah, oh yeah, that's what that whole thing was about. Yes. So technically, this would be under heavy weapon fire now as well, but we won't count that because we count just the worst or the highest VOF, whatever, which is -5. And then we do combat effects segment. Let's do it. Let's start with this one. Right, because he attempted to rally this turn, right? And he failed. That was his bummer. So he's got +1. That was also being discussed here about this. Use the lower number if all fire is coming across white borders or as incoming fire, indirect mortar fire from within the card itself. Right, so they don't benefit from, like, the line of sight benefit of the gully. So they have +1 from that. +1, +2, +3. Okay, +3, I believe. Combined with -7, I think. It's pretty bad. I know it's pretty bad, but I don't know if I don't know if the incoming just kind of wipes out all the other modifiers I have. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So -7 +3 is -4. So they have -4 on this draw, which is the worst, and they get hit, of course. So this is what happens when they get hit. They get paralyzed. So they get downstepped to a paralyzed team that is pinned. We have basically annihilated them. God damn it. There you go, pinned. Good. Now we can actually capture them if we want, but it's a little risky because our teams are just going to keep firing in there nonstop until we tell them to stop. So that's that. But that's that. Okay. Next would be this guy then, who is not looking super hot. He's got +1 from his cover, but -2 for being exposed. So he's looking at a total of -1, thanks to that only being small arms fire. -1, he gets hit. He's a line unit, so he has 1 step converted to a litter. So we're going to pull the LAT team. He flips, and part of that becomes a litter. Okay. Now I believe they're both under cover. I don't think he gets thrown out of cover, so that. And they're also both pinned. Not the best result we could have hoped for, of course, but not the worst either. That's all of it. That's all the VOF effects and the combat effects. So now we remove exposed. Blah, 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 blah. That's everything. Okay. We do not remove incoming until the start of the next mutual combat phase. Okay, so then we're on to turn 4. CO gets activated. Yeah, okay. I don't think he has any modifiers or anything going on for his world, so just draw 2. Okay, well, he's just activating both of them, so that's simple. First platoon, 2. You have no modifiers. He's got no VOF on him or anything like that. So as far as I understand, it's just 2 he's got, which isn't much. Now this guy could, well, no, I mean, he is not anywhere close to actually returning fire ever again on us. If he rallied, it would be to remove the pinned. And then he'd have to rally again to become a litter team. And then he'd have to rally again to become a fire team. The far more likely option is that he's going to fall back, which is fine. He's basically out of commission. We don't really have to worry about him. I mean, if this were a campaign, we'd want to capture him, of course, but as it is, I'm not really worried about his existence. What I am more concerned about with is actually clearing the potential contact there, which means that we need to travel there. And right now we're pumping a lot of firepower onto that card that I need to stop. The problem is he's still there. He's still an enemy that is going to draw incoming fires. So I can't call for a ceasefire because he's still there. The only way I can call for a ceasefire is if we have friendlies on the card. So one thing that it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I think there's risks that could be taken here. Yeah, there's risks that could be taken here. But all right, for now, this is going to be dumb. I'm going to regret this in about 5 minutes, but I'm going to send the LMG and the mortar sector up above, up ahead to the orchard. They're both going to get marked as exposed. This PDF does change, but since this can't fire, this gets downgraded to automatic weapons. Also, I think our concentrate fire goes away, because I believe they were responsible for that. I think the LMG was. And that was my 2 actions, which is, I really wish I had more there. Second PLT. Thankfully, he's undercover, I believe. Yep. So he gets +1. He gets 4, plus his 2. So he's at 6. He's doing much better as far as commands are concerned. But this team, this side has gotten a lot less action. But we've got action now, baby. Now, here is where I could send the second platoon. Actually, how have you even been commanding this thing? Damn it, I haven't been organized. That's my bad. Okay, I don't know where this thing was. I don't know where this thing was or was meant to be, but it probably should stick here. So I don't know where we went wrong with that, but I'm keeping it there. Which means maybe I would have changed my plan of action then. Yeah, maybe I would have changed my plan of action. Would I have just sent... Okay, maybe I would have just sent the mortar sector... Or I would have just sent the LMG ahead then. Or maybe I would have just sent the anti-tank. The anti-tank has to be commanded to use the grenade launch. But it could be no, I'm just gonna do that. Okay, so this is still at heavy weapon. We're really firing into this card. That's okay. But then that means he has 1 extra action. And he actually cannot command the mortar sector. Which I think he has been, hasn't he? I've been breaking a lot of rules. I don't remember what I did with General Initiative or not. But yes, he can't command this thing. Damn it! I keep forgetting. I should mark this as a color. Some sort of greenish color or something. If that ever actually helps me. Obviously, it didn't help me already. I've fucked up this already. Alright, so I can't command that. All I got is these 2 things, so... I can send the AT here, but that doesn't really help me much. Alright, then fuck it. For now, hold on to this. It's crazy. I feel like I should be doing more, but I guess I could move him. All right, fine. I'll move him. He's not at any risk. This thing will not be shooting anytime soon, so it's not a concern, but anyways. Then we're activating the second PLT, right, who has 6. So we had this little kerfuffle here. We need to provide some support here or spot this or something. I could move the second platoon HQ here and then start doing some spotting. The problem with that strat, of course, is that there's a potential contact here, which would be quite bad if we get another thing, but that's kind of unlikely, fairly unlikely. And it would help me do some spotting right away. So, sure, I'm upset this mortar forward observer is here. I'm upset this whole team is sitting here. But, yeah, fuck. No, don't just let that happen. Alright. I'm gonna platoon move here. Oh, God. Seems bad. I would not make a good commander. Like, yeah, you guys, okay, just do, like, serpentine patterns through the gullies and just keep moving around. I don't know. Make yourself really exposed. So that costs 2. Then I could send these 4. I shouldn't do that, right? But I can send something. I could send the assault team. Nah, no. Just send this guy up. He's exposed. Then what else am I doing, really? You know? No, I should send more than that. Okay, send him as well. So that was 2 more. Alright, leave it at that. Alright, general initiative, come on. 2. Well, there's a lot of things we could do. There's many, many things we could do. This team is fairly well protected. I mean, they are going to have a +2 modifier for the card. So it's kind of unlikely they're going to get hit again. To the point of I don't know what I would really do with that. I could move them again. I could just leave the litter team there and not risk the good order unit. But yeah, I could try to rally to get them unpinned, but I mostly want them pinned. Really, the best thing we want to do is try to spot this, and we can spot it from various cards. The spotting modifiers, just again, if the recipient is on a higher elevation, they get +1, which they are. Actually, this field is on a hill, so that would be a +1. But the problem there is they're pinned. Except I don't think that helps. So that doesn't modify anything. That's pretty good. The target is under cover. Yep, their trench. So that would be -1. But otherwise, they do not count as having a VOF of A. Because they're just doing small arms fires, so that doesn't count. So really, yeah, it would basically just be a -1 for them undercover and a +1 for being on a higher elevation. But yeah, we're going to have this guy. It doesn't matter if he's pinned, I don't think. Well, maybe I should check the limitations first before I say that. No, is that a combat action? How do I know? Oh, it is a combat action. Oh, no. Okay, so he would have to rally to remove the pin marker. That's probably not worth it then. Fuck. Okay, then never mind. Then I guess it doesn't matter who I have attempt. It's all going to be just one card. And I could exhort maybe to try for a second one, but it doesn't really matter. If I have a second guy try to spot, it doesn't matter. It's one card. Well, we get 2 cards. We get 2 attempts. Here's the first card. We got it. Okay, we spotted him. Well, that opens up a lot of fun stuff, because now we immediately start opening fire here with automatic weapons. We also immediately open up fire here with automatic weapons, meaning that there's a good old crossfire. Crossfire! That helps. Also, this would open fire, but it doesn't really help much. Well, that helps. We kind of need more than that, though. And unfortunately, I don't have any heavy firepower. So the best thing I could do now is attempt to concentrate fire. Which is another thing of just like, how do you keep track of who's responsible for the concentrate fire, you know? It's like I could, like, I can line it up here with this LMG, but then like, it's not great. But yes, the hill attempt. So we're gonna draw 2 cards. We need the crosshair symbol again. Okay, we didn't get it. So that's it. That's all the general initiative. Now we move on to enemy activity. This is where things could get dicey depending on who he changes his shifts his fire to. If he shifts fire, if he concentrates fire, you know, who knows what. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we have a couple different enemy activities. Just these 2. So we have to randomize that. The actual unit will be 1 here. Okay, so we're gonna check him. He is under fire from a direction to his own PDF. 4 options, we get a 2. So he is going to try to concentrate fire, same as I just did, and that's going to be right here. So he's drawing 2 cards, looking for the crosshair. He did not get it either, so nothing changes. Excellent. Then the paralyzed unit here is pinned, undercover still, so 4 options. He gets a 4, which means he's going to fall back. Okay, reshuffle that. So he's going to fall back. He's still going to be pinned, but he's leaving his comfort. But yeah, I mean, he was pretty fucked, most likely. So he has to go to... There's various priorities for how an enemy falls back. I think the highest priority is out of line of sight. No, it's the highest priority is off map, if they're at the edge of the map or beyond the left or right boundaries. I'm not quite sure what that means, being beyond the left or right boundary. But I don't think that's where he's at. They will generally move towards their own side of the map, generally the top of the map. But yeah, anyways. Otherwise, they're prioritizing a card that is out of line of sight of any opposing units. Unfortunately, I don't think either one is. And that's specifically because this is up on a hill. So, because that's up on a hill, it has line of sight to this one. And it has line of sight, you know, here, and it has line of sight here. It has kind of line of sight everywhere, from my understanding of elevation. So that is not out of line of sight, and this definitely isn't. And those would be his 2 options. So then we go to the next highest priority, which would be the highest cover value, including the value of existing available cover markers. Which would mean, yes, this is a +2, which is pretty good compared to +1, but since the trench is here and he can go under the trench, or into the trench, that would be a total of +3. So he's going to retreat, fall back here under the trench, which is not really where he wants to be, considering this is under fire, but as far as I can see, that is not an applicable, you know, factor to his decision-making. Like, he'll even move onto cards occupied by opposing units. That is just their priorities. That's how they occupy. So, he moved. That's it. So that's all the enemy activity done. So now we switch to... we remove the incoming finally. pin recovery segment is no one. No one that is... He's still under fire now. So he just switched from a different pin to a new pin, and that's it. So now we do combat effects segment. All right, so starting here, we got 2 different units that are going to be drawing and being affected potentially. The squad, the German squad, has +1, +2, so +3, -2. So a total of +1 for their draw. +1 is a pin. That's really good. Well, it's pretty good. It's not, yeah, I mean, because we're definitely calling in some heavy artillery here, so don't worry about that, but he's pinned. Then this paralyzed unit is quite a bit high, well, a bit higher. It's +4, -2, so it's a +2 value, which is a miss. Anytime a pinned unit gets missed by an attack, they are no longer pinned. I will double check this. I read this at one point, but you know how I be. Yes, if the unit's pinned, remove the pin marker. So he got defensive enough where he's no longer actively being suppressed, but he's still pretty useless. He's not going to do much to help this guy who is pinned. All right, then the only other one is this one, and there's 2 here. It's just small arms fire, thankfully, and we are both pinned under cover, so we're about as good as we can get. We have a +2 modifier. Nothing has changed with that. So our actual unit there, +2, is a miss. Excellent, so they're actually no longer pinned. And then the litter team, +2, that is hit. So we're going to resolve the hit for them, which is paralyzed. So they get downscaled again to a paralyzed team. Not ideal, but also not the end of the world. They'll survive. Now, it is rare, but it is in the rules that if this were to get hit, and the result of the hit would be to, like, it would be like an F for a fire team, they would actually go back to being a fire team and actually being, like, usable and start firing again. It's really, really uncommon to get up converted like that, but it is possible. You can also get hit, and if the result is still like a P or for a paralyzed, and you're paralyzed, you stay paralyzed. Nothing changes. So you got hit, but nothing really happens, unless you were not pinned, in which case you'd become pinned still. But otherwise, that was fine. I mean, that was good. All right, that's it. So clean up, remove all our exposed. Actually, this guy would have been exposed, wouldn't he? Yes, he did fall back. Ooh, that might have modified things. Let me look at that card. That was a miss. That was this one, right? He had a +2 overall. 1, 2, 3, 4. -2 was 2. He was at 2. He would have been at 0. Okay, no, it wouldn't have changed anything. All right. But yeah, so he's no longer exposed. No longer exposed. That's where we're at. Oh, we didn't resolve this potential contact. Oh, fuck. Ooh, that would have changed things drastically, potentially. Okay, hopefully not. Otherwise, there's a big asterisk here. We're only drawing 3 cards and seeing if there's a oh, God, there was a contact. All right, this is really scuffed now. I completely forgot about that. All right, so we have another contact. Oh, it's almost certainly going to be here. That would have really changed things. Well, not necessarily, but this LMG is almost certainly under fire now. Oh, also I have 2 PDFs. He needed an order to change fire, and he didn't. He wouldn't be firing that way. Okay, so we're drawing from the B column. This sucks. 7 options. 1. Okay, it's incoming artillery. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, so there's a -4 incoming artillery this turn, which would have been applied. So, yeah, and he's in the orchard, which is -1, so it's actually -4. Here you go. It's a hit. What's his result? Litter. So he gets converted to a litter team. Okay, well, there goes that. Thankfully, we still have this other LMG, so it didn't actually change any of the results of my other shit. But this gets removed now. So there's no line of sight to this card. There's no line of sight out of this card, but I can still see in. Okay, also this gets downgraded to all pinned. Yes. Okay, well, otherwise we're still fine. Turn 5. We have one more potential contact, which we're going to want to investigate, but we really need to stop firing here. And we need to call in some nice artillery soon. So let's work on that. First Platoon HQ is in a good position to do that with the artillery forward observer there. Right. Move this here. This guy gets activated. He draws. He's got 4 commands. Obviously, 2 go here. There's not much else he can really do, except he can move here. He can send the mortar sector ahead, which we may as well. It will eventually fire upon this team next turn, so do that. Technically, you'd be pinned, but then we'd eventually remove that, so don't worry about that. Yeah, okay, that's it for the CO. First Platoon HQ is just out in the open, blah, 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 nothing special. He gets 5, excellent. We need it. All right, technically, yes, this fucker is... No, would he have... Well, no, because I scuffed it, because I forgot that I couldn't move that guy, so I actually don't know if he would have been there when this guy was still here and he would still be shooting. I don't know. I'm just going to assume he was shooting, so whatever. All right, so we're moving these guys in. I'm moving the forward observer in. But since this guy's still shooting, I have to go over there and tell him. But I could just do that with the... Yeah, fuck it. We'll just do that with the general initiative, assuming I get it. Assuming I get any general initiative. We're all exposed. That's fine. Maybe. I mean, there's a potential contact here, and I have my first platoon headquarters here. So, you know. So this no longer applies. Technically, we'd be shooting it here. This no longer applies. And that cost 2 for a platoon move. Then we're going to attempt to have the artillery forward observer call in off-map artillery here. Yep. That's what we're hoping for. So we're going to draw 2 cards. Hoping for that nice... Oh, yeah, baby. Well, that's it. So that's a pending fire mission there. It's going to blow big in the orchard. It's going to be glorious. That's all I really have to say. I mean, the only other thing would be to seek cover, which is not bad. So I'll have the first platoon HQ try to seek cover. We get 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Cover. Done. Cover has been sought. Then, just because I like the guy and I don't want to screw him, I'll have him move under as well. So, then we have nothing. Okay, second platoon. He is not under cover or anything, so he's going to get 3, moving him up to 5. Theoretically, there's nothing I really have to do. But fuck it, we'll do a squad move. I don't know if the assault team is included with that. He's not actually a good order unit, is he? I don't think they count as good order units. Any LAT team is not good order. So I don't think I can move the assault team with me. Not that I really need to. you know, it's like, I'm sure it defines a good order unit in one specific sentence somewhere. Of this is what a good order unit is. It's there is like a glossary here. Right here at the front for some reason. Good order. Any infantry unit that's not a limited action team is not pinned. So no, he is not. I could have sent him forward on his own though, for 1 extra. So that would be 2 for the platoon, 1 to send the assault team. But I don't think that's really worth it. So fuck the assault team. You're staying behind. All right, so we're all here. Oh god, who was all here already? The LMG was here already. Did I send this platoon ahead? Why did I put them all together? Don't do that. I don't remember who was here. Okay, you're all exposed. I mean, I can concentrate fire, but it doesn't really change much. So I guess I'm just gonna seek cover here in the woods. We draw 4 fucking cards for it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it. Cover. And we will, I don't know, move the LMG under it. Sure. And move the AT under it. Organization. So that's everything then. I think we're basically good. I think the mission's almost over now. All right. Then general initiative 2. There's really very little that needs to be done or would care to be done. I can try to rally, or I could probably move the paralyzed team back to safety. They don't really need to be there. So, a pinned paralyzed unit can move to an adjacent card, but only if it's stationary or friendly occupied with no VOF on it. Yeah. So, paralyzed can move back here, at which point they become exposed and they're still pinned for the moment. And then I could, oh, I don't know. I mean, there isn't really much else I would care to do, but there's probably something I should do. I could have this litter team retreat as well, or rally. I'll just have them retreat, just in case. You know, we're trying to save men's lives, god damn it. Alright, that's everything for me. Now we go to the enemy activity check, which is 2 guys here. He is pinned under cover. This is a paralyzed team, also under cover, but not pinned. So the pinned under cover is right here. It's 4 options, as always. 1, no action. The other one is a paralyzed team, not on an opposing unit's card. So they will either... Oh, no, no leader. They just do nothing. They just sit there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's all the enemy activity checks. So next would be... oh, yeah, this is one thing I forget. But any unpinned paralyzed team under a VOF marker gets retreated. And any unpinned litter team plus a casualty under VOF marker will retreat 1 card. So yeah, your units, if they are... if they're specifically unpinned and still under a VOF, they will retreat. So I think this guy actually would have retreated automatically. Oh, I know what I was supposed to do with that. No, he would have treated automatically. I was supposed to give a ceasefire order here. That's what I was going to do. Good thing I remember that. Okay, so then he would retreat because he is still under this incoming VOF. Okay, that's everything then. So now there is no VOF on this, which is great because, you know. Also, why would we have not just moved immediately? I didn't even need to seek cover. I could have just gone to the fucking foxholes. Yeah, I mean, the foxholes don't move. They don't change. I can just go in them. If you move onto a card that has cover, you can immediately go under the cover. So let's pretend I did that. Which with all of these, really. Okay, that's that. There's so much going on in this game, god damn it. Right, remove existing incoming, blah, blah, blah. So this gets removed. This then gets flipped to the big show. Potential contact. I'm not forgetting this one. This is our last one. So we're drawing 3 cards because... Ooh, are we drawing 3 cards, though? Yes, because he's still firing. Thankfully. So we are drawing only 3 cards. Looking for the word contact. Oh, god damn it, we found it. Okay, there's one more contact. Thank goodness we're under foxholes in the gully. Yeah, I mean, we're in the gully, and it's almost certainly going to be here, but it could be the fucking artillery. No, we already did the artillery. Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't... Keep track of this shit. Keep fucking track of shit. It's going to be one of these things, so it's going to be some sort of squad. So it's 7 options. 4 is a squad in a trench. Okay. Right. Now, it can't be on a card that already has units. So it has to be here. So it's just a question of what type of squad it is. We've already... Well, it doesn't matter. It's 1 or 2. It's 2. So it is again this, which is good. They're in the trenches, so it's the same thing. We avoided the nasty automatic fire. They are unspotted, so go ahead with that. They are firing on to us. We draw the incoming VOF of small arms. Bob's your uncle. Damn it. We were close to this being done, but now we have that to deal with. Okay, nobody is... Well, you're pinned that shouldn't be pinned. Otherwise, nobody is pinned that shouldn't be pinned. Yep. So now we resolve the combat effects, starting with this craziness. So that's -6 from this fucking artillery. -7. +4. So they're at -3 for this squad. Hit. A paralyzed and a fire team. Okay. So this one becomes paralyzed. This one... This gets removed entirely. There's 1 fire team and 2 fire teams. Yeah. They are all in the trenches, and they are all pinned. We could have probably asked for a better result than that. Ideally. He's still capable of shooting us. We might have to keep calling in artillery, but, you know. Alright, then it's this paralyzed who has, who's not pinned, so +3, -7 is -4. It's the worst result possible. It's a hit, of course. He becomes paralyzed again, so that's that, but he's also pinned again. Pinned is good, though, because pinned means that they could potentially fall back, in which case they're just gone. They're off the map. They're out of play. So pinned is not terrible. Pinned is better than unpinned, especially because they're still not shooting at us much, and also there's no risk of them changing their fire or anything. Like, it's just whatever. They're basically nullified. We just need to clean it up. Right. So that was that card. Now it's going to be this card. I don't even know if I resolved this last time, which was bad of me. There's a lot to remember, but in this one, small arms fire on all 3 of us. Thankfully, we have a +3 overall. So, +3 on the platoon headquarter is a miss. Good. +3 on the artillery forward observer. Pin. That's kind of annoying. And +3 on the unit. Hit. Ouch. Casualty. Oh, God. Oh, God. I got shredded by that one. Okay, that's pretty bad. So we pull a casualty. And then the other one is a paralyzed. So we're down to just a fire team here. We're all under the foxhole together, except for the casualty, who is not relevant. And we're all pinned, except for the platoon HQ. Okay, great. And then last but not least is this, which I probably skipped other than last time, but that's a +2 total, which is a pin. Oh no, it was a +3. It's still a pin. Okay. All right. Thought we were almost done, but it's not looking that way. Clean up everything. No longer exposed, which means this thing now open fires as well. This gets upgraded to a heavy weapon, which is great. You're no longer exposed. Okay, done. And we're up to turn 6. I mean, I wouldn't expect to do this mission faster than turn 6, because I'm not very good. But there's a lot of factors, you know? A lot of damn factors. All right, you get activated. You're going to draw. You get 3 commands. 2 of those are spent activating these 2. You get 1 other thing to do. I don't know what you would do exactly. Maybe if I had radios, I could talk to the artillery forward observer, but I can upgrade the litter team. I can rally it to a fire team. That doesn't really help me at all. So no, I'm just gonna send this thing forward, which I can do because I'm the goddamn CEO. Don't confuse me. Okay, CO is done. First platoon HQ, who is pinned. No, he's not pinned, but he is under a small arm VO weapon. I don't think that affects it. No, it does. -1. But he's also under cover, so +1. So it's just even Steven. 2. God damn it. Well, that's not ideal. All 3 of them are pinned, but I can try to spot myself, right? I suppose that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I suppose that's what we're gonna do. Okay. We're gonna try to spot this bastard. It's not great. He's got small arms fire, and he is undercover, so we really only have 1 card. Nope. I'm gonna exhort it. Got it. Excellent. Okay, well, we solved that. Slightly. They're spotted. Which means we do open up fire. Unfortunately, it's the worst kind of fire. It's all pinned. We have very, very, very little chance of dealing damage there currently, but I'm hoping to change fire or call in the art. Well, no, I can't. Well, I might be able to launch a grenade launch there. Maybe that's what I'm hoping for. Otherwise, I could shift the mortar fire over there. No, we would not. We would not open fire. You're right, because we're currently firing here. But I have... No, I exhorted. So yeah, we got nothing. Okay, second platoon HQ, who is over here, undercover. So he gets +1. He's 4. Yeah, this is the shitty part, because there isn't much that I can actually do from this position. No, there's not much I can do from this position. If my fucking mortar forward observer was up here, I think he could have line of sight here and call in mortar fire from off map onto there, which would be awesome. But that's a long ways off. That's multiple turns to get his ass up here. Shit. There's no real rallying he can do or anything. The only thing I could maybe do is concentrate fire, which is something. So I guess we'll try to concentrate fire multiple times with everything I got. Because I can do it once per unit there firing. So, yeah, first attempt. 2 cards, looking for that crosshair. Okay, that was simple. Concentrate fire. But that's on one, I think, cover? Oh, yeah, well, that would be on everything. Attempt to concentrate fire. Select either a stack of units under a cover marker or one random unit out of cover. Yep, that would be it. Yeah, okay. Technically, I guess I could have just spent 2 to have the whole platoon attempted. And then I would have drawn... Each unit would have made an attempt to concentrate fire. So that would have been like 8 cards or something like that. But yeah, it would have happened. But no, all right, we got it. So I'm just going to save the 3 and that's fine. All right. Then go to General Initiative. 4. Yes. Okay. If I switch the mortar sector over to the other card... This would drop down to automatic. So we'd be looking at -1, -2, -3 to their +4. So they'd have +1. I don't think we want to futz with that. So I'm going to leave that there. The better plan is likely to try to call down artillery here. Which means we're going to have to get the artillery forward observer unpinned. Yeah. So I guess that's my first general initiative action, is to try to rally the artillery forward observer. 1, 2. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if I can exhort that. But I mean... I don't know. I probably not. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, that sucks. The only other thing I could do now is attempt to call for a grenade attack with the grenade launcher. which would at least put... Oh, but no, I'd have to shift fire. You're right. He can only call for grenade attack along his PDF. Fuck. We're running out of options here. This isn't great. Yeah, range grenade attacks must follow a card's PDF if one exists. Yeah. So, and he can't move because he's exposed. You can only move, but not marked as exposed. Not marked as exposed. Not marked as exposed. Fuck. So that was really my one chance. The only other thing that I could do is shift fire, which is probably what I should. So, all right, my second action then is going to be to shift fire. It's complicated. So now this goes here. There's now a heavy weapon volume of fire, and this becomes automatic. There is still a crossfire here, though, and obviously the concentrated fire is still in play. These guys are pinned, so I'm counting on them kind of ditching a little bit, whereas I really just want to put this thing out of commission a bit. Not that we're going to exactly do that, but now I could call for a grenade attack, which would be higher than -3. It would be a -4. So my third action then is going to call for the grenade attack, in which case we're drawing 2 cards and hoping for the grenade icon. Nope. Yes. Okay, so that's very good. We get the grenade. So it's a -4 or -3 depending on the mission, but we're the US, so it's almost always a -4 because we're the goddamn United States of America. That is not affected by this. This is different. So, all right, we got a -4, which means this is going to be +0. So for my 4th general initiative, I guess the last thing to do would be to try to concentrate fire with the mortar sector, which I'm pretty sure is legal. Yeah, HVOF rated unit. All right, so we're going to try to have the mortars concentrate fire onto that guy. So we need that crosshair icon, please. We got it. Oh, man, that was a lucky turn we just took. Okay, so we concentrate fire. So now they're at -1. That's as good as I could hope for, really. All right, that's all my general initiatives. So now we have enemy activity. We have 2 cards to choose from, so it's got to be randomized. It's going to be this card first, and we have a lot of different enemies. We have 4 different enemies. I don't think the randomization matters here. One does not affect another. I don't believe. So, starting with this paralyzed, pinned up here. Pinned, undercover. 1, no action. Okay, starting, or then going to the fire team, the AS fire team, pinned undercover, same thing. 4, there you go, 4. He falls back. He's off the map. He's gone. Okay, then the other fire team, pinned undercover. 4. He's also off the map. Ooh, boy, which means there is no longer any incoming fire here. This is gone. Ooh, boy, that was pretty lucky. That was damn lucky. Okay, then the last pinned paralyzed units. 4 goes off the map. Wow, amazing, amazing. That really worked out. This guy's not looking too hot. Again, we could capture him, but it's just like there's so much incoming fire here to try to call that off just takes so long. All right, now we're going to resolve this guy. He is not under fire, or he's not pinned. He's actually sitting fairly pretty, except for the grenade on him. He is under fire from a different direction to his own PDF. Yes, because he's shooting south. And this is coming this way. So yes. So that's a 4 option because we're on deliberate tactics. It's the 4th option. So he is going to shift PDF to the direction of incoming fire, which is always what we really, really hope not happens. But that is what happens. So now we're firing at each other, and our anti-tank is quite exposed, but they already fired off the grenade, bro. You're not getting out of it. All right, that was all the enemy activity check. There's no captures or retreats to do. Well, no, the litter team is unpinned, but no, they have to be under a VOF. So no. This paralyzed team is pinned. So no, nothing with that. Then it would be the remove existing incoming. Yep, that's gone. No potential contacts. Remove pin from anybody that's not pinned and not under a VOF. Oh yeah, this wouldn't be here anymore. This would now be here. That would be nobody else. No, you're not pinned anymore. Yep. Good, good. Okay, done. And then now combat effects. Let's start with you. -4. -1 is -5. +4 is -1. We're drawing a -1. Pin. Again, not the most ideal, but also not the worst. Pinned. This one, it's pretty unlikely to actually hurt him now. We've got -3. He's got +4, so he's at a +1. It's possible, but yeah, he's still just pinned. Okay, and then this one. The mortar sector has a total of +1. Drawing the +1. It's a miss. Nice. Not even pinned. The AT, however, a lot worse. He's at -1. Hit. And he's going to be paralyzed. Oh, he's paralyzed. Oh, God. Well, you shot your grenade. And what else could you hope for? That was your life's mission. All right, that's all, everything. So now we adjust any VOFs. This is now all pinned. The grenade gets cleaned up. This is still heavy weapons. We've still concentrated fire on them. That's all correct. No. All the PDFs. It's all correct. That's all correct. Yeah, that's all correct. Okay. Then we're on turn 7. Maybe the last turn of the game. Kind of doubt it, but maybe if I can wrap this all up. You know, we got to clear the whole board. CO gets activated. He's got 4. He's spending 2 to activate these 2. He's got 2 more. What can you do? Well, you're going to move here for 1. And then you're going to order the artillery forward observer to try to call in an artillery here. 2 cards. 1, 2. That's bad. That's really, really, really bad. That means that there is now a pending fire mission here, because it comes up short. That's really, really bad. We're gonna have to evacuate this tile, which honestly is okay. Well, no, it's not. It's not good, but it's okay. I think we're gonna. It depends on the first PLT HQs activations. But he had 2 left over. He moved and then he called, and then that's it. First PLT. Ooh, but technically now he is undercover. So he has +1 for that, but now he has incoming, so he has -3. So he's at -2 to whatever I draw. He has 1 action, 1 command. It's probably best to get himself out of there, I would say. Oh, God. He can't even... If I could just fucking platoon move. But no, I cannot. So he's gonna evacuate himself back here. Fucking hell, that was bad. That's why it's not gonna be the last turn. Okay, that's all you got. Now the second platoon, who's undercover still, he gets +1, so he gets 6 total. Shit. Well, once this flips over, if there is anybody here still, they will not be shooting. There'll be no line of sight out. I'm hoping the CO isn't there. That was really dumb. But, so, okay, I'm gonna spend 1 action to... I can't even call for a ceasefire. No, I have to send a guy in. Okay. We're gonna send in 1-2. He's gonna get marked exposed. So that was 1 action. Then we're gonna call for a ceasefire, which they will now actually listen to. So that was my second action. Then I'm gonna move 2nd Platoon HQ here. And then I'm gonna call for another ceasefire. Marking me as exposed. And now we update most of these VOFs. There's no concentrated fire. There's no crossfire. And this is down to small arms for now. So the idea is then, during the capture step, depending on the enemy activity, I should be able to just capture him. I think he has to be pinned, though. No, it just says capture any paralyzed or illiterate team alone on a card with unpinned infantry units with a VOF rating. So no matter what, unless this guy falls back off the map, we will capture him. Good. Then I guess just stay there again, because I don't really have much else for you to do. Fuck. Okay, that's fine. That was all right. So now it's the general initiative, and this is where I'm hoping to save my guys. 1. I have 1 general initiative. I can save 1 unit here, and it can't be the CO because he's already exposed. I think our CO is about to die. Then, well, yeah, then the only other thing I can do is just cease fire, or I can move this fire team up. But I don't think the fire team cannot move. So the only thing I can do is just cease fire, but that doesn't matter because there's not going to be any fire coming out of this. I can move the CO into the foxholes. That's his one chance to stay alive. It's not going to save him, but okay, I'll move him into the foxholes. Fuck, man, that's really bad. Yeah, it's not a good card. Oh, you thought artillery was just fucking raining death on all your enemies at no risk to yourself? Are you crazy, man? You crazy? Fuck. Danger close. All right, enemy activity check. Starting here. No, we got to randomize this, I suppose, even though we really don't. They will not affect one another, as far as I understand it. But yes, I suppose we'll randomize. All right, it's this guy. So he's pinned undercover right here, the classic. We're hoping for a 4. We got a 1. No action. Fine. Then the other guy, pinned undercover. He is attempting to rally. So he's drawing 2 cards looking for a rally. He did not get it. So he stays. Doesn't matter. He's getting captured. right about now. Yep. So we capture any paralyzed or litter team alone on a card with unpinned infantry units with VOF. Alone doesn't mean that they're absolutely by themselves. You could capture multiples at once. It just means that there's no like good order units. There's no units on their side that have VOF. And there isn't. So yeah, we capture him, which means that I have to give up a step from this unit. So he has to flip over, and that third step that I just gave up is basically a guard for these prisoners. So then this goes over here and becomes captured. And that's that. We took that card. Very nice. That was the end of our niceties, though. Because now, of course, we move up to the flip the pending markers. So that activates. There's no line of sight out of there. So that's all done. Oh, it's gonna blow big, my friends. It's gonna blow real fucking big. No potential contacts. No pinned recovery that I'm aware of. Nope. Yeah, alright, let's do it. Let's start here. It's not looking great, though. He's got +5, -4, so he has +1 overall. He's probably gonna miss. Oh, hits! Very nice. Paralyzed and a casualty. Ho, 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 ho. Okay, so let's pull the casualty. Pull the lowly T team. Okay, paralyzed. And a fire team. I guess it would be this fire team. So they're both pinned. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Raises the chance that they'll get the fuck out of Dodge, but it's certainly not our last turn. Yep, good. Then this one, and this is the bad stuff. There's plus... Well, yeah, so it's artillery, so it's +1. Fuck. Goddamn American superior artillery. So it's really +1, +2, -5. All right. So the CEO is at -4. Everyone else is at -3. Well, let's just do the CEO first. He's got the worst result. Yep, he's hit. And yeah, he's paralyzed. It doesn't really matter. He'll never be the CO ever again. You have to appoint a different unit to be the CO. But I know how to do that for the PLTs now. I'm not quite sure how to do that for the CO. The battalion HQ would have to do it. I assume there's some rule for doing it with the battalion HQ not on board. Maybe it's just at the start of a turn then for the battalion HQ, he just picks one. But I don't know. I'd have to look that. Oh, reconstitute the CO HQ. Be on HQ or CO staff. An eligible HQ or staff. Okay. So yes, at the start of the next turn, instead of activating the CO, because there isn't one, we could just take one of the platoon HQs and promote him to a CO. Yeah, neither of which is really a great option at the moment, but yeah, okay. It'll probably be the red. It'll probably be the first platoon. Okay, so that was him. Next, the artillery forward observer, and again, this is -3 now for them. It's a hit, of course, and he becomes a fire team. Okay. He becomes a fire team, also pinned, of course. Then the paralyzed unit, -3 is a hit. He is green, so he becomes paralyzed still. He's just pinned. And then the fire team, who I believe is also green, -3 is a hit. And he becomes paralyzed as well. Awesome, so much paralyzation. So they will retreat next turn because this still lasts. Basically, all three of these are going to retreat next turn. Okay. Fuck. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It wouldn't have changed anything because we still got a hit. Or did we get a pin? I think we got a pin here. I don't think it would have changed it to a hit. But as soon as I declared the ceasefire here. Oh, no, there's no line of sight out of here. Nah, never mind. Never mind. That's why. I thought we declared a ceasefire, but no, it was that. All right. Anyways. Oh, but this guy would have opened fire at some point. I think as soon as the capture segment ended and he captured that guy, he would have opened fire here, so we would get a crossfire here. Again, I don't think it changed anything, but there you go. All right, and then last but not least is these two with the all pinned. So that's +3 versus the mortar sector. Miss, excellent. He's staying safe, and then the paralyzed who has just +1. That's a hit. Reshuffle. Casualty. He's dead. No saving that. All right. This has been a bloody battle. I'm not doing too well. I shudder to think of how it's going to be when I actually play a campaign. It's going to, World War II will not be a victory for the Allied forces. I can tell you that. Also, I think this goes away. It doesn't go here because that was a misfire, so they don't dial into the misfire location. Okay, then we clean up. We get rid of all the exposed. Yeah, they stay pinned for this round. Blah 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 blah. Okay, that's it. Turn 8. You love it. All right, the CO. He technically does not get activated, but he does get promoted. So the first platoon HQ becomes the new CO HQ. Then during the yeah, so this is going to be a lesser turn because the COHQ was not activated, so he does not go during the activation segment. And since the COHQ is not activated, he doesn't activate the platoon HQs. So now we go down to the COHQ. He's going to draw a card now. He's going to activate himself, but he gets the lesser number. So now he gets a smaller number. So he only gets 2. But at this point, I believe he could actually activate them, I think. Now, see that I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think we're past the activation segment. I don't think he can activate them now. And our music died, of course. Well, there's a debate about it, of course. Okay, no. So at this point, I cannot activate the PLTs. I cannot activate the platoon HQs with the CO. I activate the CO automatically during the initiative segment now. They're basically acting on their own initiative. They're not being told what to do by a higher up. And I drew the card, and which is now the star number, which is 2. So I have 2, and I can use those on myself. Or I can use that as my own unit here, the COHQ. But I can't spend them to activate the platoon HQs. So, it's just a shit show, man. It's a shit show. I mean, I can move in here, and theoretically it's fine, but I can't do much for these fucks. We lost our artillery. I could go get the stupid mortar forward observer, but again, like I said, it's taking a long time. You really need to keep shifting units up. I got these 2 guys that have been sitting in the staging area smoking weed and drinking beers through the entire World War, so that's not good. I can try to rally this for whatever good that does. Well, I don't even try, just do it. I promote the litter team to a fire team, and then I can promote the fire team to an assault team. I guess. I mean, sure. There you go. That's my 2 actions. I probably should have just saved it, but fuck it. All right, now the first platoon HQ activates on his own, and he's also going to draw this, and he gets 3. So, but the thing is, we don't have a first platoon HQ. So, and unlike that, I actually do have the CO on the board, so he would have had to have picked a unit and promoted them. So no, I don't even draw this. So that's actually the second platoon that got the 3. So he goes up to 5. Which is not terrible. He can do something with 5. I don't know what we're going to do. Our best bet now, I suppose, is to move back up here. God damn it. Back under the cover, I suppose. Take your damn exposed. And then you're just going to fucking just platoon move everybody under this into the trenches. And that cost me 3 total, so I'm back here. And then I guess just sit. And the hope is we're going to try to launch a grenade in there next turn. Or during the general initiative, which is right now. Which is 1. I have 1 action, 1 potential thing. So yeah, it's going to be that. Just to give us a slight edge on our VOF. So sure, go ahead, draw 2 cards and try to get a grenade. Hey, you got one. Alright, good. It's slightly better. So now you got the -4. Alright. That's it for all mine. That was kind of a shit show. Don't lose your CO. It's pretty bad. But, you know, it's just sometimes shit's going to happen. Sometimes you're going to draw that short card when otherwise you would have just ended the game. So it is what it is. Enemy activity check. This is where we might just end the game here. The fire team there is pinned under cover. Nope. He draws 3, so he attempts to rally. 1, 2. No, he does not rally. Paralyzed there, pinned under cover. Wait, why did I do that? Don't do that. I drew a 2, so he is going to do nothing. No, maybe he rallies. Pinned under cover. 1 to 2, no action. Okay, no action. All right, they're both just sitting there. They're both still pinned, so that's that. But they might get grenaded out of out to hell and back. Okay. Capture, retreat, pinned. Yeah, these guys are pinned, but they're still under a VOF, so they're all gonna retreat. There's no litter teams, so literally all they just retreat back. Like so. Retreat any oh no, unpinned. Oh, they would have been shrugged off of pinned. No, they wouldn't have. Oh yeah, no, they wouldn't have. No, they wouldn't retreat. That's right, they're still cowering from the fucked up artillery. All right, never mind. Unpinned is still under a VOF. It's pretty slim. Okay, never mind. Now we remove the incoming, which means that we do open fire again. Doesn't really change much. We already had crossfire, and all pin doesn't help anything, but there you go. Yeah, now we remove pins, so now it would be small arms fire. Yep, combat effects. Okay, starting with the fire team. -4, -5, -6, +5. So they are at -1. Let's see it. Still pinned. All right, the paralyzed. I think they're the same number, -1. Hits. Okay, on the green. Still paralyzed. Okay, literally nothing has changed. Thank you, grenade, for changing nothing. But, well, it could have been worse. They could have become unpinned. All right, then it's just this, which is +3 against the mortar sector. Miss. Still shooting. This isn't really going to change much, but I don't want to move in because he's got automatic fire, and I just don't want to risk anything with automatic fire. So for now, we're just maintaining, but there is a time limit here. We only have like one more turn. We clean up, so we get rid of the grenade. Get rid of exposed. And that's it. Turn 9. Good God. All right, activate the CO. He gets 4. He's going to activate the 2. No, he's going to activate the second platoon. We still don't have a first platoon commander. I could just go appoint one, I suppose. So if I move here, exposed. No, I can't. No, he's not from the fuck. I have to pick one that's from the. I'd have to go back and pick one of these. Fine. All right, I go back there. So I had 4. I spent 1 to activate the second platoon. I spent 1 to move. Then I'm going to spend 1 to appoint this guy to become the first platoon HQ. And then I'm going to spend my last 1 to activate the first platoon HQ. Okay, first platoon HQ gets 3. He's going to fucking platoon move himself up here for 2. And then he'll send the assault team up here. Well, no, I could send him here under with an infiltrate. Or he's not a good order unit. Yeah, they can't. Some LAO can an assault team infiltrate? They can do all except platoon infiltrate. Oh, okay. So yes, he'll attempt to infiltrate. We draw 2 cards, and we're looking for that little like stealth commando symbol, and we didn't get it. So that means he moves and he gets exposed. You can only infiltrate onto a card or off of a card with a VOF, and if you successfully infiltrate, you will not be exposed. It's pretty handy, because then he could have moved again. But I don't know what I would have really done with him, so there you go. You're probably just going to get shot up now. I hope you enjoy it. All right, that's the first platoon HQ. Second platoon, God, 7 actions, of which I have no idea what to do with them. I mean, I can launch another grenade. We have unlimited grenades, so I guess I just keep launching grenades. The only other alternative is to go all the way back and get the mortar forward observer, but I don't think that actually helps us. The mortar is up to -3. The grenade is just the better bet, so fuck it. Just move the second platoon HQ into the trench. He gets exposed. He'll be fine. So that's 1, and then I'll spend another 1 to try to launch a grenade over there. We got 1, so that's the grenade back in business. Maybe we can do it this time. There's nothing else I can do to really influence the situation, so I guess I can have this guy go into the trench, just so he's under here with us. It's kind of a bad idea in general, because if we got artillery striked or something, it would make it even worse. But there you go, done. General initiative 3. I guess I'm just gonna rally all these guys into litters. That's my general initiative. I mean, what else am I really gonna do? Stupid entrenched position in the woods up here. It's tough. It's a tough one without our artillery. That was really unfortunate. Enemy activity check, starting with the fire team, pinned under cover. We're looking for a 4. We got a 1. That means no activity. He just sits there. The other guy, he's going to get a 3, so he's going to try to rally. He's drawn 1 and 2, and he doesn't rally. Probably should have reshuffled first, but whatever. All right, they stay as they are. No difference. Nothing. So, combat. Same numbers as last time. They have +5, and I have -6. So their fire team there looking at -1. Hit! Alright, we got him. We got the bastard. Paralyzed? They are green. Yeah, paralyzed. Wouldn't have mattered, but paralyzed, yes. Alright, so then we just swap this one over to that. The paralyzed unit with also the -1 gets hit as well and stays paralyzed. Okay, this is now over. But this still goes off though, and the assault team might die. Again, the mortar sector has +3. That's a pin. Ooh, finally got pinned. And the assault team has the dreaded +1 only. Also pinned. Really doesn't change anything, but there you go. Okay, done. We resolve this. No longer firing in that way. Well, we don't resolve pinned yet. Pinned is a specific thing right here and before the combat sector, so they would still be pinned. No longer exposed. No longer grenaded. Everything is still here though, and that's the annoying part. Is I have to cease fire on all this shit. But I think we could. I think we will. Okay, that's the end of the turn. I don't know if we lose. Do we have 10 turns to do this? Is that what that's what it is? I have 10 turns to win. That's how I interpret it. In 10 turns, yes. That's how I interpret it. This is the last turn. We got to resolve it here. Let's do it. CO gets activated. He gets 4. He's going to activate 2 of them for 2. There's not really anything else he can do. There's not really anything else he can do. No, I mean, I can move here, of course, and I could order the 1st Platoon HQ to move forward. Doesn't really change anything, but it's just in case he only got 1 action. He's not fucked then. So the 1st Platoon HQ got 2 actions. Oh, hot damn. He's given the order to cease fire. No, but he can't. We literally can't. We have to move someone in. Okay, well, that's fine. We can move the... No, they're both pinned. Oh, no. I needed 3 actions. Fuck. Okay, then don't do it that... Well, no, I already drew. Fuck. They can't move into an enemy territory while pinned. They can only move to friendly territory while pinned. All right, then we're gonna rally the mortar sector automatically because there's no VOF here. So that was one action, and then oh yeah, there wouldn't be a PDF here anymore. Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Move in there. Exposed. Well, I could have you try and infiltrate just for fun, just because I like drawing cards. Look at that, you infiltrated. You're fine. This PDF is no longer applicable because the assault team only has point blank range. All right, then we activate the second PLT, who has 1,000,000,001 actions. 5, okay. Well, basically, we can now order to cease fire for 1. He can move over here for 2. And, no, for 2, why don't you send in... Why don't you platoon move these guys in? So that'd be 3 actions you just did. Then you move for your 4th action to here under the foxholes. And then for your final action, 5th action, you will cease fire from this fire team. Hot damn. All right, which means this is no longer applicable. This is nothing. Blah blah blah. Okay. Then general initiative. We have 1. Doesn't really matter. Everything is accounted for, I suppose. Yeah, everything's accounted for. So just skip it. Nothing's gonna happen. Then we do enemy activity. So pinned undercover. That is what is happening. It doesn't have anything to say about them not being under fire or anything, or under fire. It's just pinned undercover for the first one. No action. Second one, no action. Well, good. I'm glad you gave up, because now we go to the capture segment, and you guys get captured. So we will just get rid of this guy, and he'll be the guard. And we have captured or killed all the German bastards in this area of Europe. Hot damn. Ho ho! Now that took almost 3 hours for a training mission. God damn! And I got plenty of things wrong. But, man, if that's not really just exhilarating. You would never think, just looking at this screenshot, looking at this game, like that it could be exhilarating, but it is. The way that they have designed this, the way that all the systems work together and stuff, it just is exhilarating. It's emotional. When that fucking short card comes up when you're calling in artillery in the hopes that, like, oh, you're just gonna wipe this last Nazi LMG team or whatever off the map, and then it comes up short and you're suddenly bombing your own fucking CO. It's like, it's just devastating. But, you persevere, you push forward, just like they did back in WW2. Yeah, it's damn good, man. I really like it. I have now ordered a physical copy off of eBay. It's out of print, of course, so it cost a boatload, but it's worth it, man. It's worth it. The annoying part is I don't know if I'll ever find like a group war game that gives me the same feelings as this. Like, I think this being solo helps a lot, because then it can take as much time as you need. Like, if Fields of Fire was a game that was like 1 to 4 players for some insane reason, like one training mission like that would take like 9 hours. So it's designed for solo, and that's the beauty of it. That's why it's so good, is because it's specifically designed for one person and nothing more. They put all their energy and spirit energy into making this the perfect game, the perfect war game for one person. There might be better war games for one person out there. I don't know. I mean, this is all very new to me, and I jumped right to the head of the class with Fields of Fire because it was like, it's highly rated and it's really heavy. That sounds good to me. And it was good, and it is good. So yeah, even though I got things wrong, And even though I don't feel like I'm very good at it, it is just damn entertaining and damn exhilarating. So that means all I have left really is the just adding on communication, which involves basically just reading this page and internalizing it. And then we would go on to actual missions, real live missions. And if I go to, if we just load up the game at the start here, you get the various campaigns. There's a standalone mission called Keep Up the Fire. But then there's the Normandy campaign, the Bulge expansion for that, the Currahee Bulge user campaign, the Naktong River campaign, the Heartbreak Ridge campaign, and the Vietnam campaign. And then there's yeah, I think yeah, because I think the deluxe edition includes like everything. I believe. But I mean, I'm sure there's other campaigns out there. I don't know what's all available or not in the deluxe edition itself. I imagine there's other user campaigns that people have done. But yeah, I think these campaigns are the primary ones that are all in the deluxe edition, outside of the fan campaign, probably. So yeah, I'd certainly like to actually do the Normandy campaign, because then you like, it matters if you get casualties, it matters if you capture enemy units, you get XP, you actually like promote your own units and stuff, and they become veteran units that are even better and things like that. Like, that's really cool. Like, here's your campaign tracker, you're tracking ammunition usage and your fire support usage and all that sort of stuff, and it's like, oh man, like, this is literally, I mean, it has just been the training mode, the tutorial. We're like done with the tutorial. That's insane, considering how much I've already played and how complicated the game already feels and is. But yeah, and then you do mission 1, the Trevier Offensive, June 8th to 10th, 1944. First battle with the German army. Yeah. So yeah, I guess the next step would then be, once I figure out how communication works, just to start the Normandy campaign and see how we do under real live fire conditions with real live casualty potential against real live Nazis. But yeah, I mean, I think it's fantastic. To me, I'd say Fields of Fire is probably one of the best games I've ever played, to be perfectly honest with you. Just from like, just from a design standpoint. I mean, I feel somewhat similarly about Mage Knight. I think that is an incredibly well-designed game as well. But Fields of Fire, like, it just, like, everything just sort of gels together with Fields of Fire. Like, I don't feel like anything, no mechanism that I have encountered so far has just been like, ooh, that was kind of an odd decision, you know, that they, like, why did they do it? Why did they have it do this way? You know, like, everything just kind of makes sense and is just sort of fluid. I mean, yes, it's slow. Yes, it's heavy. Yes, it's really tough to internalize everything. And yes, I constantly have to look things up because I just don't have it all internalized in my head of how things function. But nothing is like, well, what were they thinking with this? And this action deck, I think the action deck is like the single best board game mechanism that I've ever encountered. Like, I love it. Like, I don't even want to roll dice in any game ever again. I'm just gonna take the Fields of Fire action deck, and then like, yeah, this is my dice roll. Like, oh, I need a D6. It's like, okay, I rolled a 5. Oh, I rolled a 2. Oh, I rolled a 1. I mean, you can do it up to D12. You never need to roll anything but a D20 again. Yeah, so I'm gonna figure out communication, and then we will come back and we will start the Normandy campaign, because as far as I know, I mean, I have all the information I need at that point to do that campaign. The only other advanced stuff would then be like for like present day stuff and like helicopter attacks and that sort of thing. I guess there's also vehicle stuff, which I don't know anything about and is not covered in the training manual. I don't know if that's going to come up or not. I'm sure there's going to be things that do come up that I'm not familiar with that we're going to have to then try to figure out. Because there's plenty of rules in there that didn't come up in the training missions. Like, one thing I know is like the HMGs that actually can like fire through multiple cards and stuff like that. There's some stuff, but yeah, I mean, I think they kind of introduce it gradually here as well. So it's sort of the extended tutorial. Yeah, we're going to start to see Sherman tanks and stuff show up. So we'll have to get, if we get that far, if I actually manage to make it to mission 6 or something, we'll have to figure that out. But it's very exciting. I want some tanks. My name is Mangg. This has been Fields of Fire. We'll see you fine folks in the next part.